All right, so this is clearly not the Longhorn painting. The Longhorn is actually in a position where it's very difficult for me to videotape it. But in other news, I have been painting so much. And then while in between knitting and crocheting, I've injured my hand. I have some tendonitis in my wrist. So there's not a whole lot that I can do at the moment, but I can lay in background colors because that does not require me holding on to a paintbrush. So we're going to set up to paint this. I've been wanting to start on the next in this Celtic series, and I have not been able to come up with the how, if you will, or the what I want it to be until now. So I'm very excited. I now know, as I've been staring at this Longhorn from afar for a while, I want to do a background that's fairly similar to the way I did the Longhorn background, which means I can keep painting. If it was going to be super involved, I would not be able to keep painting, thanks to having injured, okay, so it's doing too much. I thought I was giving myself enough time and having enough different things to do that I wouldn't end up with some tendonitis. However, I was wrong. Yeah, so but that's okay. It's all good. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you we're going to prep out the color and everything else. So I'm wanting to do that Newgrange entry stone with the 3 spirals. And I really like the way that green background turned out, but I'd like it to be a blue-green. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do layers of color, greens and blues. So it's going to be a first layer. I want to lay in some really nice blues and lights. And we're going to do that, not too many colors. I'm not going to worry about, I'm looking through my blues. I'm not going to worry about, that is a green, that is not a blue. I want this to be predominantly some nice blues. I'm not going to worry too much about, that is acrylic, that is not watercolor. You are acrylics. Huh. Y'all, I have some liquid acrylics over here. Really liquidy acrylics. Boy, I had no idea I had done that. And we're going to just lay in a little bit of color to get us started. I'm not going to need a whole lot of color, but I am going to need my nice big Skyflow brush because this is going to be a very pale round. I don't want this to end up being super, super dark. I am 100% okay that this is going to be very light. I'm going to just spray on some water here to start with. And then this is going to be kind of heavy, intensive in water. The more water I have, the lighter the color is when I use these very intensive Doc Martin Radiant watercolors. So I want, okay, maybe that wasn't such a good idea. That's kind of tight on there. Oh dear, okay, super tight on there. Wow, all right. A little bit of my, I want this turquoise blue to kind of be my primary base, so I'm going to use a lot more of it to go around. This is, and now my fingers are already blue. Beep, beep, beep. I'm going to put just a little bit of this true blue on here. Again, I don't want this to be super, super dark, so I'm not going to have a ton of color. I want more water. Ow. Okay, hold on. Let's see if I can get this one to come off. There it goes. Well, that was rough. And then I'm going to add a little bit of this. So this is a different brand of watercolor than I normally use. And I can already tell it's like the perfect blue. This one is called Eco Line, and it's by Jalen. Yeah. All right, I have some of that. I picked that up at the local art supply store. All right, so I'm going to spray onto my paintbrush, knowing that it's all of that water is going to go right onto the canvas. And then I'm just going to use, okay, I'm going to use my paintbrush because these are all various blues, right? And again, I've got lots and lots of water on here. All right, the idea is to get a nice base layer. It's going to be splotchy like this. I am 100% okay with that. Some of that is just the sheer volume of water I've used. And we're just going to kind of lay this on. I want a nice, just kind of general blue background on here. Okay, and so we're just going to get that laid on. And again, I know that it's kind of splotchy. I'm 100% okay with that. Now, if I really wanted to, I could take a trash bag on here and lay it so that it's flat, so that there's no air, so I'm not going to get any line work. That will also help cement it, but that's what I'm going to do in the next layer, because this is going to give me an idea of the color of the blues. I want this to be a nice, pretty blue. And then we're going to come back in with some of these darker colors. But I want to start out with some really nice lights. And so I like the way some of this is going to turn out. And so again, just kind of moving this color around. And haha, this doesn't hurt my wrist. Which, you know, that's kind of ultimately my goal right now. I can't really be doing anything that's going to cause it to hurt anymore. I need to rest it so that I can keep going. If I can't, then I can't paint. And I can't knit. And then those kind of two work together, because while I wait for paint to dry, I knit. When the paint's dry, come over here and paint. Which just really kind of works out kind of well for me. All right, I have difficulty leaving anything alone. So let's see what we can do. This is not, it's only sort of okay with me right there. Let me reach in and my bag of tricks. I think I am going to just go ahead and lay a bag flat on this because I really want to cement that color in, and it's not filling in on this canvas as much as I would like it to. So I'm going to make it. It won't cover absolutely everything, but, and that's okay, I don't need it to cover absolutely everything. I want some pockets, and I want some lightness. So we're going to do it like that. So what I want you to notice is that when I do this, what you're seeing is air pockets are going to be much lighter in color. You're going to see what we basically were seeing before that was on the canvas. But by laying this down and putting this on here, while I'm seeing this line come across straight down the middle, that's in the bag itself. I can pull on this bag, and you're going to see that I'm going to get stuff to pull a little differently, because I can see that I've got the water is pooling in different areas. There we go. So I'm going to have a little bit of line work in here just because I'm not going to be able to eliminate it entirely. Okay. I didn't want something going straight down the center, which is what was starting to happen. So this is going to allow that ink to disperse and to really sink into this canvas. It's one of the things that I kind of like about being able to do this. And then I'm going to kind of play with this just a little bit. Because again, I'm going to be coming back in here and adding in a swirl. But I'm going to be putting in a very specific one that's coming from that Newgrange entry stone. And I want to move some of this air around. I don't want it to be just one big gigantic pocket like it is right here. I want to share the love, if you will. So I can take it and move it so that it disappears, or so that I can move it kind of so that it's in various places. Because if you can see through here, like that's clear. There's no... There we go. That's better. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this dry. I wasn't 100% sure that I was going to be able to paint, given my wrist hurting so badly. So this isn't so bad. It's first thing in the morning. I haven't really done anything. So fortunately, my wrist doesn't hurt. Yay. I've been putting some things on it, icing it, giving it some rest. So I'm hoping I'll be back to painting more frequently. So let's get started. So this gets us starting on the Newgrange entry stone inspired piece while I wait for the ability to do this. This kind of motion right here, that hurts. It's a little okay, but comes in right there. It's one of the, I guess you would say, trials of the way I paint. And then the fact that I also knit. I do a variety of crafts. So, a variety of crafts, variety of arts, however you want to phrase it. And then, just as a heads up, just so I can give you a little bit of an information, so the longhorn painting, so obviously I'm working on this while the longhorn is in progress. Yeah, okay, so the horns turn out perfect. The ears, the main part of the head, not so much. So, right now, my challenge is I've been working on cleaning up around the horns, which I'm mostly done with. That's one of the reasons why this hurts, is that it's taken a lot more of smaller, finer painting than it's akin to the type of knitting that I do. So it's all starting to, that's why it's hurting and it's a little swollen right there. But the head is giving me all kinds of fits because it's really pinkish in color and I didn't want that. So I'm trying to debate how I'm going to pull it, whether or not I make it go more purple, more blues, which is not really what I had intended. The more orange I lay on top of it, the more pink it looks. The redder, I can take it to more red, which is a possibility, and kind of do more this intense red. But it's very, very intense, and that is not what I had planned in my head. So that's kind of giving me some problems, if you will, when it comes to looking at it. Like, when I tell you the horns are perfect, like, I mean, the horns are exactly what I was picturing in my head. The ears, not so much, and the head, yeah, not at all. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to resolve what I'm seeing and what's in my head. I will see if I can't get it back on the table. If I work on it on the table, I may be able to paint on it. Because I need to figure out a way to make some adjustments to it. So maybe that'll be the next thing once this dries. I get that longhorn on the table and see if I can't get some adjustments. But I do want to get this kind of background set. So we'll get this blue in, and then we'll come back in with another layer of the blue, and then we'll throw in some kind of like greens, so some blue greens, so I can add some depth of color. into this background. With this base color laid down, I'll be able to do that without any kind of bag over the top of it, because that will then cement my color. So yeah, that's going to have to just dry completely before I can take that off. So I hope that this is, I'm excited. We're getting started on this. And so as always, I hope to see you in the next video. I hope all is well with you in your world. And so me and my bright blue fingers, I wish you an incredible day, afternoon, evening, and I will catch you in the next video because this one's going to be kind of a short one. All right, guys, see you soon.